there, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and it's time to get started on some gardening prep. So obviously it's February. There's no reason to go outside and plant anything right now, but there is good opportunity to start planting gardens. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm just going to kind of show you what my game plan is, I guess. And sorry about the lighting, and if you hear any other noises, it's laundry day, so we're doing laundry among other things. So and if you hear kids playing or shouting in the background, they're playing games or whatever. So I'm planning my garden for this year, and I'm going to try my best to make it successful again this year. Last year wasn't, I mean, it was successful. I had a lot of produce from it, but I didn't get a lot of opportunity to go out and actually take care of my garden. I had a different job, and it was, I didn't have a lot of time for it, so it kind of got neglected a little bit. But so my goal this year is to make my garden fun and colorful. That's my whole theme for my garden this year, is fun and colorful. So I'm actually using this garden planner. It's backwards, but it says A Year in My Garden. This is a gardening journal that was put out by Rachel over at that 1870s Homestead, who I watch and I love. I've gotten so much knowledge and advice from their channel. They've been doing it for quite a few years now, and I really value their opinion and their knowledge. So it's a 5-year gardening guide, and it kind of gardening journal, just kind of help you keep things organized and kind of stay on track. So in mine, I kind of have my garden sketched out. I have my in-ground beds and I have my round beds. I'm not planning on changing that this year. I'm going to keep it the same as it's always been. I'm just going to change where I'm planting things this year. So when it comes to planting, I usually go to a greenhouse, and I will go and I will purchase all of my seed or my plant starts. So my tomatoes, everything. I will go and buy all of those things, and then I will direct sow like my green beans. I've direct sowed my carrots and my peas. All of those things I directly sowed into the ground when it was time to plant those things. And then everything else I went and I purchased. This year, due to the way that the world is now, I don't like to go into details about that kind of stuff, is I'm going to try to grow my plants from seed. So I went and I got this little greenhouse. It fits perfectly in my kitchen. I think this is a good spot for it. And I got it at a local kind of farm store. It's called Rural King. I think you can get them on Amazon. If I can find them, I'll try to link it or whatever. And I didn't get any grow lights or anything because it's right here by this window, and this window gets a lot of natural light throughout the day. My house stays pretty warm, so, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. If I need to get a grow light, I will get one, but as of right now, I'm not going to worry about getting a grow light. I also got seed start dirt. I'm not going to do any actually planting in this video. This video is just going to be about my plan for my garden this year. I am no expert, obviously. This is only my 3rd year with my garden, and I've learned a lot from the last 2 years. So it's kind of, I'm learning and growing with you guys. So any advice that anybody can give or suggestions, it's a big learning thing. So I'm just taking you along on this journey with me to see my successes, to see my failures. I just like to share these things with everybody. I have a few people in my family who like to see this, so I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. So a couple other things that I have that I'm going to try to help me with this journey of growing my crops from seed. I have a book here that's kind of helping me with when to start them. I also went to Farmer's Almanac, and you can go on their website and you can put your zip code in, and it'll give you frost dates. It'll also give you a planting calendar, and that's what I have here. It gives you a list of crops, not every crop, but a decent amount, you know, each, not every variety, but basic family group of crops. And it gives you dates to when you can start them indoors, when you can start them outside, or when you should transplant them, and then when is the last date to plant in order to get your full growing season before your last frost. You can also get your last frost date on there. So my growing season is about 127 days. So it's a decent growing season. So most of the plants that I have, 70 days for peas, 45 days for spinach. So um, it just depends on 75 days for carrots. So I've got a decent range of growing season. But it does list, you know, when to start your seeds indoors, and that's kind of where I'm going to go with that. I am going to start just a little bit early in case I have issues, I have, you know, failures, or I need to get a grow light to help with the growth production. So I'm going to start some of these items a little bit earlier, like my, which one was it? Sorry, I don't mean to zone off here, but I'm just looking at this sheet here. So tomatoes, you can start tomatoes by seed indoors for my zone around March 15th. So I'm probably going to start mine about the end of February. So just in case I have any issues, I still have time to replant if I have to. Or if I have some that don't make it, I have time to plant more. And I'm going to be starting my seeds in these biodegradable seedling cups. I don't know if it's the best option, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Again, this is all trial and error for me. I've never started plants from seed before. So, but these are, they're biodegradable cups, and you can break them apart after you plant your seedlings in here when they're ready to be transplanted into a bigger cup. And then I'm going to transplant the whole thing. You don't have to throw this away. This is it's made of cardboard, so it's a good fertilizer. And I'm going to transplant it I'm going to put them into like solo cups when they're ready to be transplanted for the first time into a bigger vessel before we put them out in the garden. So that's my plan for that. So there's 50 cups in this whole packet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so there's 10 vessels in here. So I have about 75 of these. And then I also have like an egg carton that I saved. I get like the cardboard egg cartons. It's the same thing as that. So I'm going to try to save these, and you know, I got 12 cups there. So I'm going to try that as well. See how it goes. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. It's okay. I'm okay with if things don't work out, I can always go to a greenhouse and purchase things. So that's my plan for seed starting. I'm going to kind of base it off of this calendar. A few things I am going to start a little bit earlier. So again, like I said, if I have any issues with the seedlings not starting, or they're not growing, or there's issues, they die off, anything like that, I have time to try another round. And if the second round doesn't work, or I don't have enough that came up and are successful, I'll have time to go to a greenhouse. But this is like I said, my plan. I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of lay out in pencil. I want to do it all in pencil in case I change my mind or I want to move things around, of where I want to place things this year. My strawberries are in my middle round bed that I planted in last year, and they're going to stay there. I let them winter. And I went out and checked them the other day, and they're underneath the leaves and mulch I put on top of them. They are still green. They look really good. So I covered them back up. We have snow coming. We've had like 50, 60 degree weather for like the past 2-3 days. So it's been really kind of nice. We've been spoiled. But now we have this humongous snowstorm coming that's going to give us like 10 inches of snow. So it's kind of weird. We're talking about gardening and we're getting this humongous snowstorm. So But it's central Pennsylvania and it's February, so we're bound to get a storm. So that's that. And I just want to share kind of, I will kind of, maybe I'll put some clips in here of, of this plan and what I'm looking to do, those sorts of things. But I want to share some of the things that I want to grow this year. Like I said, my plan for my garden is for it to be fun and colorful. I really enjoyed growing the different colors of tomatoes last year, and the different varieties of things. I just want it to be fun. I think that's where I kind of got out of it before, is I wasn't having fun with it. It felt like a chore. It felt tedious. I didn't get any enjoyment out of it. So I think that's why I really want to try this year, for it to be fun and colorful and just all sorts of things. So there's a couple of seeds I don't have yet that I want to pick up. So I'll just let you guys know what those are later. But I'm going to grow spinach this year. I have two varieties of spinach. I have an American spinach and I have a Bloomdale long-standing spinach. I don't know what the difference is between these two. They both grow about the same, so I'm going to grow spinach. The biggest reason I'm going to grow spinach is because I'm making my own homemade dog food. Maybe I'll do that in another video. I'll talk to you guys about why I'm making my own homemade dog food, and what I do. Obviously, I'm not a veterinarian or anything like that, but it seems to be helping my dog. But I'll go into that maybe in another video if you guys are interested. But if I can grow the things that I'm going to put in his dog food, I'm going to save money there too. So that's one of the biggest reasons I'm growing spinach, is for in his food. And I also like cooked spinach in certain recipes, so I'm going to grow spinach. I'm going to grow broccoli. I'm going to try to grow more plants this year, and I think I'm going to put them in my round bed, just because I can put a cover over them a little bit easier in the round bed, to keep the moths and things off of them, keep them from being eaten. So I'm going to do broccoli. I did broccoli last year too, but I didn't really get that many, so I might do more broccoli plants. I am going to do pumpkins again this year, and I'm only going to do maybe one plant, maybe two. I got so many pumpkins the one year, it totally overtook the one corner of my garden. Like, they were outside the fence, in the yard, everywhere. So I might do one, maybe two plants, just because, in case one doesn't take off. But these are sugar pumpkins. These are pie pumpkins, so they're good for making pies. And the whole idea the first time that I grew these was to can the pumpkin, so I had it, but it didn't really work out for me. So I think what I want to do is I want to grow them, and I want to have them for storage, so that when I want to make a pie, I can just cut the pumpkin open and bake it and do it that way. I think that would be easier than trying to can it, wait for it to drain, because it didn't really have the same kind of flavor that I was looking for. So that's my goal for the sugar pumpkins. I have two different varieties. I have this one, and then I also have this one. This one came from a local place up the road from me, and that's what I planted last time, and they worked out really well. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do one of each just to see which seedlings do better, so I'll know for another year. I'm growing green beans again. I love green beans. I love green beans the way that I make them, and I will show you up here in my pantry. These are my green beans that I grew last year. I can them in onions and bacon, so they're like a southern style green bean. I love them so much. They are so good. It's one of the things that I love to eat out of the can. So I'm definitely growing more green beans because we go through them a lot and they're really good. And I grow a jade green bean. These ones, I had another variety, not last year, but the year before. And they took off, but I didn't really like the flavor of them. That might sound a little weird, but I have these. And then the other packet of seedlings that I'm going to pick up that I didn't pick up is they were like a purple green bean. So again, there's my color, but when you cook them, they turn green. So they just they look purple on the vine, but when you cook them, they do turn green. So I just think it would be fun to have something different in the garden. So I'm going to pick up a packet of those purple green beans. And sorry about the jingle you hear in the background. That's my washer telling me that my clothes are done and I need to go fold them, but I will later. Zucchini. I'm going to grow zucchini. This is a spineless zucchini, so it doesn't have all the little spines on it. So when you reach in to grab it, it doesn't poke you. I'm growing this for my dog food. Again, dogs can eat zucchini. I also thought about trying to like hide it in things. I know that zucchini is one of those plants that it takes on the flavor of whatever you put it in. So if I can sneak zucchini in something and my kids won't know it, then we'll be in good shape. Peas. I'm growing peas again. Again, we eat peas. My husband doesn't like peas, but I use peas in like pot pies and other recipes. And my dog food. My dog loves peas. As long as they're cooked, he'll eat them. It's super weird. He doesn't care. But these turned out really well. These aren't the ones I planted last year, though. Maybe I'll get the ones. These are an edible pod pea. I don't know if I'm going to plant these ones, but if I don't, I'll just go get another packet of the ones that you can't eat the pods. You have to pick them out. I don't know what happened to that packet of seeds. Oh well. Anyway, growing peas. I wasn't going to grow cucumbers this year. And the biggest reason is that we don't actually eat cucumbers or anything. My kids we don't like cucumbers, but we like pickles. And I've made pickles in the past and they turn out okay, but they kind of lose their crunch after a while. So if anybody has any suggestions on the best way to get a good crunchy dill pickle for canning, put it in the comments, because I've tried the pickle crisp and they still get soggy. So if anybody has any suggestions, that would be great, because I'm going to try to grow one plant of cucumbers this year. And these ones are the spineless one too. So when you reach in, you don't get all bit up by the vines. Carrots. I grow carrots every year. My carrots are never super successful. I have grown carrots and I have put them in with my green beans, but that's about all of the crop I got with my carrots. So I'm going to try again to grow carrots, and I think I'm going to grow them in my round bed because I can manage the dirt in it better. They like really soft, loose, sandy soil, so they have room to grow. I think I'm going to try to put those in the round bed this year, or set aside one spot in my in-ground bed to really focus on getting that dirt right. So I usually grow a variety called Danvers. They are supposed to be the best. And then I'm also going to try, again, going along with the theme of having fun and color, I'm doing this mixed variety of carrots, which is all sorts of colors. So it'll be a fun surprise. I like growing carrots because you don't know what you're going to get when you pull it out of the ground. Other plants, you actually see the fruit, you see it grow, you see where it's going to be. Carrots and potatoes, you don't. And I think that's why I think they're fun, because when you pull it out, you know if you're going to get a long one, a big one. So this will be fun because you don't know what color you're going to get. So I think it'll be fun. Carrots, peppers. I grow peppers every year. I like to put them in my spaghetti sauces and things. And this year I'm going to try to do salsa. I'm going to try to make my own salsa this year, and some other tomato-based products. I always do like spaghetti sauce and pasta sauce. I want to try to do pizza sauce this year because we eat a lot of pizza. The kids really like homemade pizza and different things like that. So I'm going to be growing peppers again this year. I have to get one other seed packet is for banana peppers. My husband and my dad really like pickled banana peppers, so I grow that for them. I'm going to do jalapenos this year. I'm going to do regular green bell peppers, and then I also got a bell pepper mixed variety. So there's probably green ones, red ones, purple ones. I might see if I can find another kind of neat variety of peppers, maybe the lunchbox pepper. It turned out really good, so I'm gonna try that. And again, uh-oh, somebody's crying. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. He's all better now. The last thing I mentioned was peppers. I'm going to go and see if I can't find some other varieties of peppers, just to kind of mix it up and have a little fun with it. And then the next thing is tomatoes, obviously. I loved my tomatoes last year. The only one I didn't pick up was the Cherokee purple tomatoes. I wasn't going to grow those, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to go get those because I really like those. But I have a couple of different varieties that I'm going to grow this year. I'm going to grow, obviously, cherry tomatoes. I have a red cherry. I've got super sweet tomatoes. I've got Romas, which are good for sauces. I have a Jubilee. I grew orange tomatoes last year and they were delicious. I love them. I made a tomato soup with them. Turned out amazing. I'm going to grow this Ace 55 from M.I. Gardener. I got these last year, or not last year, the first year I was going to garden, and I didn't grow them, so I'm going to try them this year. It's a semi-determinate, so they kind of have a spot where they'll stop growing. So that's the difference. The one thing I learned about tomatoes is that you have there's many varieties of tomatoes, but there's two different types. There's a determinate tomato and there's an indeterminate tomato. So a determinate tomato is going to grow to a certain point, it's going to produce fruit, and it's going to be done. An indeterminate one is going to keep growing all summer long. It's going to just grow, and keep producing fruit. So these Ace 55s are a semi-determinate. It has low acidity, which I like. I don't like a whole lot of acid in my tomatoes. Now I know tomatoes are inherently an acidy fruit, but if I can find some that have low acid, it helps out a lot because it just makes everything taste a little bit better. And then I have the beef stalks. I've grown these before. They get weird. This is an indeterminate variety, so it's going to keep growing. They just get weird. I don't know if you've ever seen a weird tomato, but they grow and they get big and they get weird. I don't know how else to explain it. They just come out kind of funny, but they're still a good tomato. The Jubilee is an indeterminate, so it's going to keep producing all summer. The Roma is a determinate variety, so I'm going to grow a couple of these ones because they're good for sauces. It's the classic Italian tomato. And then the cherry is an indeterminate, the cherry is an indeterminate, and so is the super sweet. So these ones are nice to be indeterminate because I've got a lot of people who like to just eat cherry tomatoes. I have a little girl who lives next door, and she loves cherry tomatoes. So I'm always like, go pick some if you want. So, cherry tomatoes are always a hit. Some of the other things that I will not grow from seed is I won't grow my potatoes from seed or my onions. I get those from a local place up the road, and they get potato starts. They're just potatoes that are starting to get eyes. I get those from them, and I also get my onion starts from them. So I always get it backwards. I had this problem last year. They are starts, not sets. So sets are the little onions that you can buy at like a hardware store. They have them like in a big bin and you can just go through and pick out the onions. You're not going to get a big onion from those. You're going to get like green onions. If you want to have a big onion, you want to go with a start. Yeah, I think I got that right. Anyway, if I didn't, it is what it is. I planted those last year and I had fantastic results for my onions. They didn't get super big, so I'm going to try to adjust the way that I'm growing them. I'm going to try to feed them a little bit better, make sure the ground is good. And like I said, I had good success with my onions last year. And the same with my potatoes. I'm going to try to grow more potatoes this year. I'm going to try to do some in the ground. And then I'm also going to try to do some in containers. I'm going to try to get some just those big, gallon, 5-gallon containers. And I'm going to try to grow potatoes in there. My husband's wanted to try it, so I think we're going to give it a whirl. If it works out, that the potatoes grow better in that, and it saves room in my garden beds for other things, that's the way we'll do it from now on. So we're going to experiment with that this year, just to make it fun. Have buckets of things sitting around. I'm also going to grow some more flowers. I had 4 really good sunflower plants last year. They were just for fun. We didn't save the seeds or anything like that, but I'm sure that we will have sunflower plants all over the garden because we had birds in there, we had bees, everything. So mostly the flowers are for the pollinators. I want to bring the pollinators in. So I grew skyscrapers and the mammoth Russians last year, and I had 1 mammoth Russian come up, and it was like a dinner plate. It was huge. It was beautiful. I loved it. And the rest of the other 3 were these ones that came up. So I'm going to grow. And then I have big old plastic pots out there that have got all sorts of flowers in them. I don't know if I'm going to have to replant. I had bachelor buttons in there. I had hyacinths and tulips and things. So I don't know if I'm going to have to. I know the tulips and the hyacinths, they'll come back every year, hopefully. Harsh fingers. And then the bachelor buttons, I don't know if I have to replant those and some of the other ones, but I think I still have a wildflower mix. I'll just go out there and put those out there. They seem to do really well. But I'm going to grow 2 more varieties of sunflowers this year because I love sunflowers. They're so pretty. I'm going to try to grow an Italian white. I just thought they were really pretty. And I'm going to try to grow a teddy bear sunflowers. So I think they're really, really cute. And then I'm going to see if my dad, if you're listening, he mentioned about making me like a fan trellis. See if maybe he'll make me one. Because I want to grow morning glories. I love morning glories. We used to have them at the house I grew up in, and they're super pretty, and my mom loves them. So maybe my dad will make me a trellis to grow some morning glories on. But that's kind of my plan for my garden this year. Again, I'll kind of share with you maybe in clips here and there. I'll throw some clips in from last year, some things like that, just to make the video a little fun. Of what my plan is for my garden, where I'm going to grow things. I'm going to try to get the seeds started possibly next weekend. That gives me probably a little bit early. Again, if they're a little bit early, I don't mind it. So in case something goes wrong, like I mentioned earlier in the video, or if I have issues with them growing, if I need to get a light, if they get cold, if they don't get warm enough for germination temperature wise, I'll have time to reevaluate and kind of refocus and redo if I have to. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by to watch the video. I'm going to really try this year to make this garden successful and take you along for every step of the journey. I'm going to be sharing lots of other things on the channel other than my garden. I'm going to try to share some of my canning videos, things that I do, maybe some of my recipes, things that my kids like, how I make my dog food. I know I mentioned that earlier. Next time we make it, I will take you guys along with me. And if you guys have any questions or comments, anything like that that's helpful, I like constructive criticism, so anything like that would be really great. Just pop it down in the comments below. If you want to follow along with the journey and see how it goes this year, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my channel. And again, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I can't wait to get planting and start this garden with you guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.